Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday, May the 8th, 2020, and today, May the 9th, is VE Day, Victory in Europe Day. It is 75 years since the end of the Second German War. As Churchill said, we may allow ourselves a brief period of rejoicing. Last night, the Sovereign spoke to the nation and to the Commonwealth and to our allies, without whom the victory would not have been won. I should make it clear that although it was Her Majesty's broadcast, she was expressing also the views of her ministers. She's not allowed to speak contrary to government policy. And so, in reference to one thing she said, I have to demur, object. At the end of her speech, she said, "But our streets are not empty, they are filled with love and the care we have for each other. And when I look at our country today and see what we are willing to do to protect and support one another, I say with pride that we are still a nation which the brave soldiers, sailors and airmen would recognise and admire." Sorry, madam, but on the 18th of April, in issue 6 of my new magazine online, which is free, called Armageddon Times, it started on the 2nd of April, I wrote, quoting Rupert Brooke, "For England's the one land I know where men with splendid hearts may go." These lines, written in the Café de Westens, Berlin, in May 1912, sum up how many Englishmen and women felt about Britain, which is why so many of them died in 2 world wars for king and country, in France, in Belgium, in Japanese prisoner of war camps, in SOE operations. They had a high view of their country, believed England stood for something, essential decencies, which meant we had to oppose Prussian militarism. Today, I wrote a few days ago, today Britain is a pigsty run by devils. 9 months before I was born, UK, Canadian and US troops hit the beaches of Normandy. Today, in any similar eventuality, they would be hard put to make it into the landing craft, let alone up the beach. Britain, Great Britain, is no longer a country they would recognise and admire. For this, we blame not only the BBC and the Tory Central Office and the Church of England, but the entire corrupt political class, which broke faith with the British people over the referendum result. A grovelling, self-serving, duplicitous group represented by the likes of Hilary Benn and Alistair Campbell, Tony Blair's Dr. Goebbels. Think of the crimes and enormities committed by successive UK governments since May the 1st, 1997. That is the day Mr. Blair entered Downing Street. War on Yugoslavia, whose people held down 14 German divisions in World War II. Bombing of Belgrade, blowing up makeup artists in the Belgrade television studio and claiming they were war criminals. War on Afghanistan, although there were no Afghans in the airliners which supposedly hit the Twin Towers. War on Iraq, based on Blair's lies to Parliament, his MPs shrieking for war like the Nazis, and Gordon Brown, not having the decency to resign. War on Libya, and look at the state of affairs there now, plus an undeclared war on Syria, all of which is why I think God is punishing Britain. Blair and Cameron brought all this evil upon us. In the words of C.S. Lewis, they have brought down deep heaven upon our heads. It is not only the foreign wars of aggression, the supreme war crime, according to the Nuremberg Tribunal, but domestically, all is lost. Look at the persecution of Julian Assange, and also at Anderton Park School in Birmingham, the inflexible determination of Boris Johnson and his stooge Education Secretary Gavin Williamson to impose Mrs May's gay familiarisation programme on very young children so they can be taught to masturbate. Is this the country our military from World War I and World War II would, quote, recognise and admire? Sorry, madam, I don't agree. It is true, the heart of the people, at least that portion, not indoctrinated, brainwashed or conditioned by the BBC, is sound and as philanthropic as ever. It is the political elite, le pouvoir, which has sent UK after 1950 into a diabolical Gadarene descent. Arise, O Lord, and let thine enemies be scattered. COVID-19 is a judgment of God for our abominable practices, including widespread abortion and infanticide and crimes against peace. Her Majesty's government, post May the 1st, 1997, sought by every means possible to destroy the English Church and nation. But a new pilgrimage of grace is being plotted, a rebellion against the twisted values of Mrs May, Boris, Tory Central Office, the BBC and Channel 4. Christ crucified, for thy wounds wide, us commons guide, which pilgrims be.